Alrighty guys, we're back for some Selesnya humans, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath Standard Brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, Anthony decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link as well as that brand new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? First of all, this was a suggestion down in the comments, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's going to be a fun one to return to, huh? Got Katilda Dawnhart Prime. It's a 2-mana 1/1 legendary creature. Protection from werewolves. Unfortunately, I don't know how often that comes into play. Human creatures you control have tap it, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. And then the bottom ability on here, for 4, a green and a white, you tap Katilda, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yep, that bottom ability actually comes into play way more than you would think because of how powerful that ramp actually is. Giving all of our humans a way to add mana is actually kinda sorta insane, huh? So what else do we got in here that works with humans? Well, we got Sigarda, Champion of Light here on the top end. It's a 4-mana 4/4. It's a flying trample angel. Nice. Legendary creature. Humans you control get +1/+1. Beautiful. Has a coven ability as well, so whenever Sigarda attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. 5 is a good chunk of cards, man. Excuse me. You may reveal a human creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yep, nice. Also have a couple Sigarda Font of Blessings in here. It's a 4-mana 4/4 flying. Lost the trample for some reason. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Dude, nice. So if they want to spot remove something, they're going to have to spot remove Font of Blessings first. So you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library. Kind of insane, dude. It kind of is, huh? So what else do we got packed in here, guys? Let's go to the front of the build. We got all 4 Hopeful Initiates. So 1-mana 1/2 with training. We kind of sort of see Initiate enough, but I'm going to go over it real quick. So for 2 and a white, remove 2 +1/+1 counters from among creatures you control. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very powerful 1-drop creature, guys. Speaking of powerful 1-drop creatures, we got a couple recruitment officers as well as a single Skrelv Defector Mite. Skrelv is just one of those things, man. Even though it's not a human and it doesn't fit the theme, it's definitely worth squeezing at least one of these in, especially since it's also legendary too. And in the mana base, I opted for a couple Plaza of Heroes. And I think the couple Plaza of Heroes is actually going to come in handy way more than you would think, especially that bottom ability. Pay 3, tap it, exile Plaza of Heroes, target legendary creature, gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That could really help you out if the opponent is like targeting your Sigarda Font of Blessings, for example. Ditching the Plaza of Heroes to protect the Font of Blessings is kind of insane, isn't it? So yeah, having a turn 1 Plaza with a Skrelv is not half bad. Okay, what else do we got packed in here, man? We have a Melira, something, the Living Cure. It's a 2-mana 3/3 legendary creature. That's good enough for me, man, but it has more here. If you would get 1 or more poison counters, instead you get 1 poison counter, and you can't get additional poison counters this turn. Also has another ability, exile a Melira. I apologize for the pronunciation, guys. When it's put into the graveyard this turn, return that card. Oh, choose another target, creature, or artifact. When it's put into a graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. A very powerful human, guys. It really is. And speaking of powerful humans, we got a lot more packed in here. We got all 3 Thalias. It's going to do a lot. Hopefully it does more to hurt the opponent than hurt us, because we do have some non-creature spells in here. Not too many, but we do have a Soul Partition. Exile target non-land permanent is kind of sort of no joke, and for as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. Nice. We have 2 Invasion of Gobakhans here. This is a 2-mana Battle Siege, which I still think is underplayed. It's got 3 defense counters. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it, For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. So what we're really trying to take out of the opponent's hand is like Depopulate or Sunfall or heck, even a Wandering Emperor would be a great target for Invasion of Gobakhan, right? Now, once you flip this, it becomes a Light Shield Array. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. Sacrifice Light Shield Array. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Dude, just really powerful underplayed card, man. Got a couple Intrepid Adversaries in here. Maybe we're using that extra mana off the Katilda Dawnhart Prime to go ahead and buff a good wide board state. We're seeing so much mono red while the lifelink is really good against mono red. The problem is all the burn in that deck does take out Adversary pretty easily, man. So if you do end up spending 4 mana only for your opponent to drop a Play with Fire on the Adversary, it's pretty sad. So hopefully we're protecting Adversary with some ward or something, like all 4 Coppercoat Vanguards. Let's get all 4 of them onto the board at the same time. Sounds good to me, man. We do get to see this. I'm going to go over it real quick here. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Each other human you control gets +1/+0 and has ward 1. Very powerful, dude. Another reason to make humans worthwhile. Should have went over it kind of sort of at the beginning, but it was also kind of obvious that it was squeezed into the deck too. So we got all 4 Anointed Peacekeepers. This is a 3-mana 3/3 with Vigilance, which is going to come in handy because Wandering Emperor is still just everywhere, dude. As Anointed Peacekeeper, enters the battlefield. Look at an opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Spells your opponent's cast with the chosen name cost 2 more to cast. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name cost 2 more to activate, unless they're mana abilities. A very powerful card, man. Very powerful. There's a reason I called it Human Taxes, and I didn't just write Selesnya Humans up here. We are taxing the opponent big time in this deck. We have all 4 Brutal Cathars, excellent piece of removal in a deck that cares about just slamming creatures on the board, and it's human, of course. Got a single Loran the third path. I don't think Hopeful Initiate is going to be enough to hit the artifacts and enchantments. So Loran also takes out artifacts and enchantments, and it also has an ability here where you can tap it to have target opponent and yourself draw a card. We don't necessarily want the opponents to draw too much, but there may be moments where it would be beneficial for us to see more off the top. So you never know. Realistically, this is in here because it's a human. It has Vigilance, which is nice, but then we're destroying an artifact or enchantment, and there are a lot of enchantments that we want to take care of in Standard. Ossification. Okay, we got 3 Adelines in here, another legendary creature. Oh yeah, Loran's legendary too, works with the Plaza, that's nice. Adeline is also legendary. It's a 3. Wait a minute. I'm not going to go over Adeline. What am I doing, guys? We see it everywhere, and it's seeing a lot of play in mono white aggro right now. It's going to be terrific in here. Dude, that's everything. Yeah, nice. Relatively easy one to go over. I guess we do get to see quite a few of these cards, huh? Got all 4 Secluded Courtyards in here. We're obviously going to choose human and be happy about it. The big issue with Secluded Courtyard is if you see like 3 of them and a plains, then you're gonna have trouble casting the Sigardas. So if you do like see a bunch of these then and you play a couple of them on human, then you might want to consider, depending on what's in your hand, calling one on angel as well, since our top end is angels, right? So this is something to think about. Probably gonna be the best land in the deck though, period. We got some fast land, we got a couple slow land, and I didn't opt for all 4 farmland because I actually don't think the mana is going to hold us up too much, and the farmland, getting both of these in our opening hand with no other land is very slow, and we don't want to see that. So yeah, only 2 instead of like the 4. More fast land with the Brushland. We got a Who Endures, Seat of the Empire, heavily leaning towards plains because that's what the deck is leaning towards. Actually, wow, 100% of the cards have white mana in it, so we're really just splashing that green, huh? Honorable mentions, I'm not going to really go over them. I just want to say that, you know, they almost made the cut, or I thought about them for the list, right? Cathar Commando could have been a neat one. Lunarch Veteran, I think the life gain, depending on how much mono red you're seeing. Wait a minute, I said I'm not going to go over these. Yeah, Lunarch Veteran, thought about it. Guardian of New Benelia is a pretty good one. Resolute Reinforcements. That token isn't human, though. That's something that I think about. Sun Gold Sentinel, underplayed, man. Danitha, we gotta make a deck with Danitha, dude. This card looks sweet, and I have yet to actually play with it. But you know, it's a legendary. It has 3 keywords. It's a human. It's neat, but we don't have auras or equipments in here. Kandarian could have been a neat one. Torrens is cool. And Mural also could have been a cool one if we had more soldiers as well. But we do have quite a few soldiers in here between Thalia, Brutal Cathar, and the Recruitment Officer as well. All right, guys, that should be everything. Relatively simple build, right up my alley, man. This should be super aggressive, or at least I'm hoping it should be, right? So let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, guys, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the list? Okay. Usually we're playing some form of jank and I'm like, oh man, standard's so tough. I don't know what to expect, right? But this time round, oh, this is a good hand. Be nice to see like an untapped land for turn 2. Opponent goes first, that's a shame. We're gonna give this a shot and we're gonna try to get Thalia down on turn 2. Anyways, I think I'm expecting a lot here. I think this might be the best deck we play this this week or a couple weeks, but you never know. I might be wrong. Oh, untapped source, nice. Now we can get the Thalia down or the Katilda, but this looks like the type of deck we want to get Thalia down against, huh? Teachings, cool. That gets it above. No, it doesn't. That's next turn. It gets a counter. We definitely chump this if they swing. Not chump trade. You guys know what I meant. Katilda could be a good one. It could be. We have the 3rd mana for Peacekeeper or Cathar. It's gotta be the Thalia, right? If we swing with Officer, this is a great trade for them here. It's just Thalia. Thalia slows down Selesnya enchantments big time. Of course, they could always get around that by playing their Naturalist, but even so. Calyx for 3, nice. That Brutal Cathar, what do we want to hit with that Cathar, man? Do we want to hit that Visitor? We take 5 down to 15, at least we get to keep a couple of our creatures. They still have this, like, great block with that, though. If we, like, Brutal Cathar the Spirit, then they just keep the Calyx around, right? Like, they're hitting us way harder than we're hitting them. I'm gonna chump it before it gets trample. How's that sound, guys? Like, right now, that was taking 5 damage from our face. So, if they give it Audacity or something, then all of a sudden that chump block just disappears and we're in trouble. Cathar taking Calyx could be good. If we had another 2-drop, I would consider Katilda tapping the Thalia and playing the second 2-drop as well. So that's good ramp, right? Anointed Peacekeeper is alright. We're probably going to have to take the 5 from the Visitor. Let's see what we hit from the opponent here. Wow. We are taxing them big time with these wedding announcements, huh? You know what I want? You know what I kind of want to hit? Ossification. I kind of want to hit an ossification, but we shouldn't. We shouldn't. We should hit wedding announcements. Since they have 2 of them, this kind of, if they see land off the top, this takes them out of the equation for a while, right? Watch them draw an ossification off the top. Okay, no attacks. We're going to take the 5 from the Visitor. Teachings. We've been seeing a lot more teachings recently. It's a great addition, dude. It really, really is. Oh, yep, they play their second one for 3. See, Thalia just being ridiculous here. As of right now, their wedding announcements are just out of this game. We gotta do something, though. Like, we're in trouble. They're setting up a lot. The Calyx. Do we trade with Peacekeeper? Probably. And they know that, so... Yep, let's just take the 7 down to 13 and see... about maybe we pick up that Visitor. They really put all their eggs in one basket. Oh, except they did. They did put 1 counter on the Calyx. Sigarda, if we chump next turn, like this gives us hexproof, we might see something a little better off the top. taxing ourselves here because of the Thalia. I apologize, opponent. Actually, a lot of options, man. There really are. Because if we go Cathar before giving a hexproof off of the Sigarda, then they could easily get rid of it. Would that be that bad for us, though? No, not really. About to get another counter from this. Cast Angel. And cast Angel and creatures from the top. Tough decisions, man. Tough decisions. Let's go Katilda. And then tap the Thalia, because I plan on keeping Thalia. And let's pick up that Visitor before they give it like an Audacity or something, right? They could triple block Peacekeeper or trade with Calyx. I think that's worth the swing. Chump. Nice. Totally worth it, because we have the Vigilance too. We might have wanted to swing before. The Visitor was already tapped, so it's not like they could have blocked there. So we probably wanted to swing before we played the creatures. Just a heads up there, guys. A little bit. Could have optimized that a little better. Luckily, did not matter. Restoration. Dude, these Selesnya enchantment decks are so scary. Hey, maybe we can break the curse today. I brought it up in the last video. There, or maybe 2 videos ago. I don't remember right now. That's a good draw, man. I'm doing it. Actually, do I do it twice? No, decline. Actually, we could play the Sigarda still. Sure, that's pretty good, man. We're at 13, so everything getting hexproof outside of the Sigarda. Wow, Adeline's on top. Restoration, grab their companion back. See, now we have flying, we buffed this board state, and now we can actually start to buff even further with Katilda too. Their Calyx was 5/5, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, oops, we forgot to swing with Peacekeeper because it had Vigilance, but no, they had a great blocker here. Actually, their Calyx, we need to see Cathar off the top. Maybe the Sigarda will get us there. A 7/7. I wonder. Yeah, their wedding announcement's still 5 mana total. No, 6 mana. Thalia makes it 4, and then it's an extra 2 for the Peacekeeper. Oh, their double wedding announcements. Oh, there's the Audacity. That could be really bad. They have so many chump blockers on the ground, dude. 11 damage. 11 damage. We could double block, take care of it. They draw, though. We gain 4. We do have a successful double block here. We're still taking damage, is the problem. I'm just gonna go no blocks. I think we're in trouble. I think if we lose these 2 creatures for these 2, like, they lose a Calyx and Audacity and they immediately draw 1 back. And either way, damage was getting through, so they were going to be able to copy with the Calyx ability too. They're still looking for their removal as well. More land, okay. Adeline, Hopeful Initiate off the top. We could find that Brutal Cathar. We could play the Hopeful Initiate. It's going to be, actually, Sigarda Champion of Light buffs this board, dude. Are we going to die next turn, though? Probably. They're at 20. We can't tap the Initiate. It doesn't have haste or anything. I don't plan on blocking with the Cathar. Can I tap you like that? I mean, we still... Oh, yeah, Vanguard off the top. I guess we could play it. What do I not want to... What do I not want to do here? Because Calyx can't get through. We're at 2, guys, is the problem. I need to find that Cathar, realistically. I'd like to keep the first strike back. Oops. Oopsie-daisies. I kind of auto-tapped that. Oops. Okay, we have 6 life gain on the adversary. This is insane, dude. I don't even know where to begin. I guess we have to just keep it all... Actually, I'm flying in the air. We have to start doing damage, and, like, this is the only one that doesn't have hexproof, so if they see removal off the top, you know what I mean? So, it's really hard to keep track of everything on the board right now. Really, really hard. They're still 1 mana short from the wedding announcement, so if they see... Yeah, there they go. 6 mana wedding announcement. Buff the Calyx twice. We're gonna probably have to double block it here. The question is, how do we want to do this? And we're at 2, so we gain life from the adversary up to 8, wherever the swing is. 5/5s, 2 5/5s in the air if we can keep the second champion of the light. So that's 10 damage in the air. They don't have lifelink on this board state, guys. This might be pretty good for us. So I just have to be careful about the trample. That's 14. That brings us back up to 8, right? That blocks 8 of the damage coming through. So that's 6 damage coming through to our face, and it wipes the Calyx, right? So we're alive here. Yes? Yes, I hope so. Like, I don't know, maybe 3 videos ago, I miscounted on some trample damage, and I got very sad. And then back up to 2 because of the adversary. They have so many chump blockers on the ground, dude. See, they still got damage through, so maybe I should have blocked more, but I don't think so. We have another Thalia next turn. Oh, and it's not 10 in the air anymore. Oh, land is coming up. Land is coming up. This is insane, dude. Where? How? I mean, I don't have any more life gain. They're definitely wide enough. If we go like Katilda, that's not enough either, is it? Because we'd be tapping 2 of our things down too. So I think, Invasion of Gobakhan could be good. Take some removal out of the equation. I think it's Adeline for the sake of more blockers on the ground, unfortunately, guys. Right? If we swing with Thalia, we can always... No, it doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we dead? Are we dead regardless? I can't swing, can I? Crap, guys. I can't swing. Where's my vigilance at? If we would have swung with Champion of Light first... Oh no. Oh no. They're just too wide on the ground, guys. We took too much damage. And if they see like another Audacity or something, then we're just like super dead. But yeah, we need, since they had 9 wide, we needed 8 to block. I guess it would have just been a 1/1 going through, unless they buffed everything on this board somehow. Audacity. I don't think we could have successfully swung there, because then it would have just been find removal spell for the Font of Blessings, and then it's game, just full swing. Or if we swung with Font of Blessings, I guess that would have been... Uh-oh, Plaza of Heroes on the top. And they decide not to attack there. Adeline does have Vigilance, so they probably just jump it. So that's good, I guess. Hold back. They might just hold back on their turn too is the big problem, right? If I just activate Katilda and then full swing, we're forcing blocks, and that's a lot more fun. It's kind of my way of conceding. That's a lot more fun, isn't it? Let's do this. Oh, I should have done the Cathar though. Man, I gotta watch out for these auto tappers, dude. Oh, jeez. Adeline. See, maybe swinging with the Champion of Light last turn could have found us like a Brutal Cathar or something. So if we had some form of life gain on this board again, then I think we would have had a good chance. Waiting out a turn just doesn't seem worth it. Not when they went wide with the Calyx, and now the Calyx was going to have trample too. So we would have had to block really well into Calyx. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures. We didn't have this human, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures. Yeah, nah, dude, we're just swinging, man. We're going. That's way more fun than waiting out. Especially, like, we have 10 damage in the air, guys. Like we're forcing some serious blocks here. I actually don't know what they blocked with the Architect. We get another 1/1 there as well. Down to 5. We still have the Adeline. Switches to nighttime. Good game, opponent. Good game. Yeah, not. Oh, there it is. There's their removal. So that's like what they've been looking for this entire game, dude. Wow. Hey, I think our deck showcased a serious amount of power here, and we taxed them really hardcore with the wedding announcements and everything. Another Cathar would have been ideal, and then any of the opponent's removals would have been ideal for them. You can just full swing. There you go. Okay. I'm going to block the Calyx. That's probably the best block on. Obviously, we're dead regardless, right? Actually, they could have just swung. I think that's what they were thinking of there. They could have just swung with the Calyx and got the 2 through with trample, but at the same time, it's a lot safer to full swing. Unless there was like a card in standard. I guess like, nah, like Wandering Emperor really wouldn't do it either. GG's opponent. Even one of these. I mean, that was a fun back and forth there for a little bit. If I would have been a little more aggressive with my Angels, maybe we could have gotten there, but I don't think so. I think if we would have slipped up with our Angels in the air for like 1 turn, it would have been over. What do you guys think? Let me know if there was a way through in the comments for sure. I definitely love to hear it. If I missed it, and then I try to do better next time, of course. Onwards to the next game. Guys, let's talk about that new Patreon for a second here. So the brand spanking new Patreon. We have 3 different tiers. There's a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and a $15 tier. As time goes on, I'd like to add more tiers, maybe some lower tiers too. I don't really know what the benefits of like the lower tiers would be right now, but it's something I'd like to add as time goes on. It's a good hand, dude. His hands have been solid. Oh. Farmland. Darn it. Why is Farmland so slow, man? Dude, these slow lands have really been holding me up. Maybe we just don't turn 1 Skrelv, we go turn 2 Catilda instead. Get the Adeline down sooner. Nah. Nah, this is fine. We have a chance of seeing an untapped green source. But yeah, I think I'd rather... Yep, that's fine. We'll play the Farmland now. Adeline, right? Depending on what they play. Revelry. Ew. Hey, there's our untapped greed source, guys. I guess it's Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper's much better against control. Wow. I guess March is going to take this out regardless, so... I guess it's March, right? March... Oh! Do I actually have to type this all out? March of the Otherworldly Light? There we go. Oh, oh, oh. Sorry, guys. Obviously, I don't use abilities like that. If we keep the Skrelv open, we can protect it at least. Well, maybe that's the point. Maybe the point was in the case there, man. Maybe I should have used Union of the Third Path and just kept the Skrelv protection open. But I'd like to have the Skrelv protection for other stuff, too. Alright, I see your make disappear. So, Soul Partition's pretty good. Katilda, let's go with the Peacekeeper swing. See if they tap any of this down. Probably not because of Skrelv being ridiculous. No chump block either. Huh. Saving their chumps for something else, I suppose. It's lucky that we still have a 2-drop to play here, since we can play around that Make Disappear so well. At this point, we could still go Adeline and let them counter it, then go Sigarda Font of Blessings next turn, but I'd say it's not worth it. So we just keep what we got. Union of the Third Path. Right. That is a thing that they could do with the open mana. Okay, Tranquil Cove. I'm guessing this Soul Partition doesn't have a target yet. Okay. My turn. Coppercoat, that's good. Good. Yes, actually, we really needed to see one of our 2 mana cards. Alright, Make Disappear. Are you gonna double down on that? Maybe not. Maybe it lands. I'd be surprised, because then we have the Skrelv to protect the Vanguard. Wow. Alright. Let's go for the swing. Keep Katilda back, right? Because that's an easy trade for the opponent. They definitely want to do that. Could drop the Soul Partition on the other one. I'll do it at the end of their next turn, though. Yeah, we're just keeping everything else back, man. This is a dangerous board state for them to be up against. Actually, board wipe would be worst case scenario for sure, though. Maybe that's why they let Vanguard hit. They did draw a lot of cards since the last time I looked at their hand. So I don't even think... Do we want to Soul Partition one of our own cards if it's a Sunfall? It's not a Sunfall. Holy cow. Let's attempt the Soul Partition and see what they do. Because it might just be a Wandering Emperor then. Wandering Emperor doesn't hit Peacekeeper. And we still have the Skrelv to give the temporary hexproof, right? Hexproof from a color. Okay, well at some point we want to play around a board wipe. But boy oh boy is that Adeline looking pretty good right about now. Man. They're at 31, dude. Board wipe's gotta be coming soon. I'm gonna hold it all back, man. As painful as that is, holding it all back. Actually, we could use the Katilda's ability. Maybe that's what we do for the turn. Maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of our humans are tapped. We still have Skrelv open. Cool, cool. But now they're just buffed for the swing next turn. I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, but I guess it's worth still playing around that. Oh, but Peacekeeper's tapped now, but they still have to pay the ward cost and the Skrelv, so. Okay, Scrutiny for 3, nice. Restock that hand. Scary business. And I guess, yeah, Sunfall is still worst case scenario, but if we played Adeline, it would have been much worse. Or Depopulate, for that matter. It passes back. They're still at 25, so I guess they don't have to sweat that much. Again, the Adeline would be great, but I'm still not convinced that it's worth playing. All right. I'll swing. 11 damage here. And maybe I'll play Initiate for the turn. I don't really know how I want to play around this board wipe right now. Because I feel like I should still keep Initiate in hand. Like they drop a Farewell next turn or something, then we need to be able to slam creatures on the board as fast as possible, right? Obviously, keeping the Skrelv open is important. Each other human you control gets +1/+0 and has ward 1. Oh, there's the ward 1. I was wondering, like, there's no ward symbol on Katilda, but I guess it's because it has that protection. Font of Blessings may be the best bet. To still play a creature, we still have 2 creatures to play out next turn. That instead of like an initiate, where next turn if they wipe the board, then they still have... that's tough, that's tough. See, we've been playing around a board wipe that might not even be there, so maybe we could have closed up this game already. Devious cover up, that'll do it. That's a big old counter spell. Get their unions back. And now we play around it. Okay, yeah, we hold back. I think that was fine to attempt, right? I think so. Because if it landed too, could have seen more humans off the top as well. And the hexproof on everything's kind of insane. Maybe that could have actually let us swing in with the Skrelv. But having Skrelv open to protect the Sigarda is kind of insane. They still have 2 mana here. It's probably March. I guess we should probably activate this ability and call white for Coppercoat. I guess, right? That's probably the one we wanted to target. It's up 3 mana. And they bounced the Skrelv for that, man. Can check the opponent's hand. At 13, so we have 11 on this board state. If we drop Adeline full swing, if there's no removal, then that's it. We should try it. I think we should. And we have 3 creatures in hand to restock the board after a board wipe, so... Yeah, Skrelv doesn't have haste or anything, so... That's 13 damage on the board after Adeline, so it needs to be something here. Probably for Vanguard, and then we can always replay Vanguard unless it's removal. Oh, okay, Seat of the Empire. So Skrelv wouldn't have protected for the seat anyways. Nope, I shouldn't play anything, huh? That's a deadly enough of a board state. The board wipe has to come soon, dude. It has to. Like, there's no way, man. Memory deluge. Okay. So land board wipe, right? So yeah, okay. We could get there, guys. We could totally get there. This would have been the game to see Thalia, though. Like, Thalia would have been the best card in this matchup for sure. Just taxing everything. Literally all of it. Passes it back. They're at 6. Question is, do we go... Do we keep Katilda back to buff wide? Probably. Right, because the other human's coming down. They have 3 open. Take care of like an Adeline. Union. Gaining some good life here, man. We're gonna do this now. Oh! Well, I guess keeping Adeline back's fine. GG, opponent. GG. Wait, how much life did they gain there? Because they got down to -3. Did I have to buff? I buffed for 4, so they'd be at 1 right now if I didn't. Oh, nice. Worked out. I think that's how that would have worked, right? Dude, we're 39 minutes in. What on earth, man? Let's go one more game, see if we can keep up that pace. That was good. That was good stuff. We were waiting for a board wipe, and if one would have landed, we would have been in a very tough spot. That being said, we were still playing around it, so we would have still been able to stock up that board. Generally speaking, what ends up happening, what ends up putting the nail in the coffin, more often than not, is 2 back-to-back board wipes. Yeah, I think that's keepable. Worst hand of the evening? No. Oh my goodness, dude. Gross hand. The old 1, 2, 3 punch. Is this what the opponents feel like? No, I'm just teasing. Sometimes that's what it feels like, though, you know what I mean? Okay, that's gotta be like a cut down, right? I'd say we still try it, though. Cut down or no? Worth the shot. At this point, it might be... Why they choose the cut down on... they must have more spot removal in hand for Vanguard. They chose to cut down Officer so we didn't get the swing there. And if we tax their Go for the Throat, they want to hit Vanguard now. Before Peacekeeper lands. Peacekeeper's really good against this matchup too. Dimir control probably. Go for the Throat, yep. Okay. Peacekeeper. Well, we did have a 1-2-3 punch, but they got around that a little bit. Both of these are kind of a pain. I don't think they drop Path of Peril next turn, so it's got to be Jace, right? Well, I guess I have to completely type it in. Jace the Perfected Mind. Or maybe I don't have to type it in at all. I should just look through that list. I think that list might have all the exposed cards. Hopefully they didn't see anything fancy off the top, because yeah, I want to go right into Peacekeeper number 2, get that Path of Peril. Actually, maybe start with the swing. Actually, Adeline? Talked myself into it, guys. Path of Peril doesn't hit our 3-drops for a couple turns. We're taxing the Jace, we're getting an extra damage through here, so whatever they drew has to be something to stop this. Down to 16. Okay. Fiend's Tower is what they drew. Okay, okay. At least they got to filter that out then. Try to find more of their spot removal. 4th mana. I'd love to tax some more in that hand before they get a chance to play it, but we get a great board state here. We draw a land, I'm just probably going to go right into Adversary for 4 and try the swing, man, because honestly, I can't resist. And they're still a couple turns away from the path. The path could come down for 3 and hit the Adversary. Oh, they found a creature, though. That's good. I've seen this card floating about a few times now. They get to cut down the 1/1. Nice, cool. And this trades with the Peacekeeper really well, too. Vanguard, okay. If they trade there, they get their Jace a turn sooner. We'd play a creature before at the Adeline turn. Coppercoat Vanguard could be the key play here, because it buffs the other Adeline creature too. But I think it's going to be better to keep the Vanguard as a surprise. Reach, okay. Okay. So Jace probably comes down next turn. I shouldn't be too concerned about that, right? And go Path of the Peril on this one. Or just call Jace again. Is it here? Yeah, Jace the Perfected Mind. Should I be concerned about them getting up to 6 mana? No. Jace the Perfected Mind. Let's do this. Might be a little risky, but... So the trade is coming in on the Peacekeeper, probably. Peacekeeper number 1. So the Jace is still going to get taxed by the other Peacekeeper. And then next turn they have 5 mana. So they're still a turn away from the Path of Peril play. Which means we could still see mana on top, buff the board state with Adversary, or just drop Vanguard and buff the board state that way. Like, there's a chance that all they seen off the top here was land, so... The triple Peacekeepers is pretty nasty, man. Pretty good stuff. Peacekeeper is a very powerful creature, and the Vigilance really coming in handy, I feel. Not against this deck in particular, but... Okay, so we can go Vanguard. Might just get gobbled up by spot. We don't know what this card is the problem. We only have 10 swinging through. No, 9 swinging through if we don't buff. We go for it. We go for the victory, guys. The scariest thing, of course, would be spot removal for Vanguard. And then land off the top Path of Peril. That would be, like, I feel like that would be a perfect lineup for the opponent, though. And a little bit unlucky on our end. Spot, it's like, yeah, that would be best case scenario for the opponent. Spot remove Vanguard, land off top, Path of Peril. Oh, wow. Our Vanguard sticks around, but I mean, they did find the spot removal, and now Jace isn't being taxed anymore. Our board might get wiped, guys. See them draw that land. I mean, that was a good choice, opponent, over the Vanguard. They found the land. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. Now we need something insane. Now we need to flood this board. Jace. Why? Wait, am I missing something? Huh? They didn't have a white mana. I am missing something. Oh, I thought that was lining up perfectly for them. Because they found the spot removal to survive the turn, right? And then they found the 6th mana. Guys, yeah, the cleave cost is a white and a black. You guys are probably yelling at me. Through the screen, right? They have a splash of white in the deck. Or at least we think they have a splash of white. Good game, opponent, man. You can really see where like the taxing of the opponent's hand is absolutely insane. I would have loved to take this up against like mono red or something to see how it fared. I think it would have been fine, honestly. There's definitely a few things we got to talk about here, though. Wait a minute, we got a pack? Dude, let's crack some packs, man. I think I have everything from Dominaria United. One of my favorite sets that came out in Standard. I just adored this set. So much fun. Apparently, we have everything from it, though. We got from Lord of the Rings here. Horn of the Mark. Cool, cool. Okay, now let's go over the deck, guys. Speaking of which, if I'm just like meandering about a little bit too much for your liking, I always put chapters in the description. There's timestamps, and then there's chapters at the bottom of the video as well. Here's the deck list again, guys. Okay, I think there's some power here. I do. I think more testing is required, of course. What, we only got to play like, I don't even know, 3 games. That's unfortunate. I would have loved to play a little bit more, but, you know, time constraints and whatnot. We're almost 50 minutes in, and we recorded a few other videos today as well. Lorna of the Third Path would have been great to see against that freaking Selesnya enchantments build. And for that matter, Hopeful Initiate too. Like, we did have the Catilda on the board getting counters and stuff too. Being able to take out those Calyxes before they got out of hand. Yeah, those, I mean, honestly, maybe we would have been favored at that point, right? So, Adeline's terrific. Thalia's, like, a key player, dude. So maybe we actually want 4 of these instead. But I like the 3. You know, it's still legendary. And we do have a Soul Partition and a couple Invasion of Gobakhans in here that get taxed from the Thalia. At that point, you could drop the couple invasions, go up the 4th Catilda, and maybe some other piece. But I do like these. I do like these in here. We just didn't get to see them do a thing today. We did get to see Soul Partition do a thing, though. We got to take out a token successfully, which was just an extra chump blocker for the opponent that game, right? Other than that, I do think there's going to be plenty of games where Invasion of Gobakhan actually really comes in handy, too. So I think it's really easy to flip as well. More ways to get counters, and then you can use those +1/+1 counters for like the initiate abilities too. So I think this is a solid one. I do. I think that we could potentially ramp with it too. I mean, look, we just went up against 2 different control builds. Worst case scenario against those builds would have been if they actually would have successfully wiped the board. And at that point, if they had the board wipes in hand, we would have been able to tax them with Peacekeeper, especially in that last game where I did the risky play to tax the Jace a second time and wait the extra turn for the path, which it ended up working up nicely for them, but we still ended up getting there because they didn't actually get their splash of white, which was lucky, man. Even so, I think we probably would have been able to get that excess damage through eventually because they were already down at 2. We had plenty of other creatures to play out in the following turns, and one of them was the 3rd Peacekeeper. So yeah, like we could have taxed an expensive piece of spot removal or another piece of board wipe or something. Peacekeeper, kind of sort of an MVP, man. I mean, worst comes to worst, let's say you're up against mono red or something, you could just tax their Play with Fire, make it 3 mana instead of 1. That could literally be enough to stop them, or to completely stop them, honestly, dude. It could be that simple. make a lightning strike 4 mana. A lot of that burn is their main way to remove creatures. So if you make it too expensive and then you pick up something with like a Brutal Cathar and they have to spend 4 mana on a lightning strike on your Brutal Cathar, it feels pretty bad for them at that point. Also, if you have like Thalia and stuff, again, same concept. They're running all that burn. They're running Commanos. They're running stuff outside of the burn that isn't creatures too. So I feel like maybe we'd be favored against mono red, man. I don't know. I would have loved to test that. Our top end cards seem a little bit greedy at times. The 4 mana seemed a little tough sometimes, even with the ramp on Katilda, a Dawnhart Prime. That being said, I wouldn't go up any mana. I wouldn't go down any mana for sure. I think the 22 is completely fine, completely where we want it. Maybe even 23 could be an argument, but I don't think so. Again, ramp on Katilda happens a lot more than you would think, and we have so many 1s and so many 2s that until we get our 3rd and 4th, we're fine. Totally fine. We're still packing a lot of heat, man. Okay, hey, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. Let me know what you thought of the list in the comments, and I want to play it again, honestly. I could easily see taking this into ranked and doing a lot more with it than what we were able to do today. And we did a lot today, don't get me wrong, right? I think we actually had a positive win rate. I mean, what, we only were able to play 3 games and we won 2 of them. I mean, hey, first positive win rate video in like a couple weeks. So it's been a tough time, guys. It has been. Standard's been tough. The most important thing is making sure that you're still having fun, not worrying too much about the victories, worrying more so about just slamming cards. And, you know, like that big swing against that enchantment build, even though we lost, that was a really cool swing, a lot of damage. Any amount of trample would have gotten us that victory, huh? Actually, maybe we want to consider some trample. I don't know where we would add the trample necessarily, but it's something to think about. You never know. Maybe there is an easy way to slot some trample into the deck, or give a way to give trample or something that I missed. Something to think about, for sure. Other than that, I wouldn't really add or take anything out. You guys let me know what you would do down in the comments, and if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions. I will see you in the next video.